Let's go ahead and hit record. Okay, great. Well, good morning, everybody. Those who are seeing this recorded, I applaud you also for taking the time to sharpen the saw and get a little bread for the head too, and become a better professional. So I welcome you. So good morning. Okay, so I sent out in the materials, in the links, some materials today that were the chapter is your real estate business. So like I said earlier, guys, this is the last time I'll have to send out the materials because from this day forward after this, we'll have our new coaching book and it'll be digital. So I hope you all took a look at that. We're going to dive into that. So I'm going to share my screen and take you on a tour, a couple of things. And I'm hoping, let's see, Joe, give me some sharing rights real quick. And I'll share what I've already got pulled up here. Okay, we're good to go. Joe's right outside my window making gestures. So, all right. Okay, so, let's see. So you all got this, right? And we've seen this kind of flip book digital version with a lot of our marketing stuff too. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to switch to, well, okay, we can use this. Can you see this okay? Or is it too small? Too small. You can go to your view screen. If you've got two screens, that's beautiful, but you can change the view there and make that a little larger. Let's see if I can help by expanding a little. That might help you guys. The first thing that you'll see here is this concept of power hours. I'll tell you what, today we're not going to do that. We're going to cover this in our next Thursday in that seminar. Okay, so let's go ahead and skip past the power hours and this accountability, and let's talk about these 5 principles of success, and then we're going to get back into that evaluation, the 10 points. A lot of you were on last week's call, right? Not if you were, and you did the evaluation. Okay, good job. I think that's a big insight to how how we can analyze our business in those 10 points. Okay, so the first thing that I suppose that I would like to qualify is this idea of what success is to me. Okay, and to me, it's the result of an accomplishment of a previous design objective or goal, and the realization of a properly focused efforts towards meaningful objectives. The commitment of pursuit of becoming a best version of oneself. So let me pause for a second. A lot of you probably have heard from previous, I guess, previous content that the idea of success is a little, it's a moving target. That although we could have some objectives along the way, and that's kind of what I'm talking about here. It would be lost on me if we weren't bettering ourselves in this journey. And the reason I like to hang my hat on that, and this is very important, is that we can always celebrate a lesson learned regardless of outcome. So I think that's really important to remember when we're going through challenges of growing a business or life in general, is to give ourselves credit for learning something. That way, when a seller chooses a competitor, that we don't sap out our emotional energy and our tank becomes empty because we've depleted, our ability to move forward to the next thing. Sometimes we frankly just quit, and that would be lost leverage of future opportunities. Because if we're always learning, then I would count that as a success. Okay, in one of the last, sorry, I'm going to geek out here for a second on Star Wars. Sorry, but in one of the Star Wars, Yoda says this to one of the Jedis. It says, "Failures are great teachers." How does he say that, Joe? Can you speak like Yoda? where he reverses the
You're,
sentence.
you're the voice I cannot do.
So great. Failures are great teachers. Teacher, how does he speak like that? I don't know. You guys can figure it out. Okay, so the building blocks to me in this, there you go, Britt. Great teachers, failures are. Nice. I knew, and that surprises me. Britt would get that. But nice job. Sorry, Britt. Like, are you a Star Wars fan?
Yeah, Britt's got OG Star Wars cred. She's
Oh, really?
yeah, she runs deep in the old Star Wars universe.
Wow.
We
Okay, good.
both are card carrying nerd Star Wars nerd cards.
Nice. Okay, I learned something new about Britt. Okay, yeah, nerd card down. Okay, nice. Well, so look, we've all had these experiences where you felt pretty down about missing an opportunity. And I think that's what I'm addressing here is success is kind of hard to define if we're only talking about milestones reached and finish lines crossed. Okay, that's I could put it in the definition, but it would be lost if we didn't also celebrate the lesson learned when we don't accomplish the objective, and yet we learn something very valuable. You guys agree with me? It's affirmation time. Yes, I agree that my success can be as much about what I learn as about the finish lines I cross. Okay, great affirmation. All right, next one is, so I'm not going to go a lot into each one of these, but honesty to me is the first principle. So, and the word itself, I think it's true. It says truthfulness, in a transparent way. But to be honest, one must act upon this to actually be honest. So it's not just a mental state of honesty, but it's also acting upon what's truthful. We must do the things for the right reasons, protecting and building relationships with a focus on purpose. Honesty is showing integrity in difficult situations. I hate to get political here. Shoot, should I do it or not? Please forgive me. I don't care what really side you might view your political standings, but when Mike Pence had to make a decision and he made a constitutional correct decision, regardless of what his loyalties were, at least to me, I think that was pretty amazing. And I know there's a lot more to that on both of these issues, but I kind of went, wow, that was a hard thing for someone to do, to stand up and do that. That's very, very difficult. And I'm talking about the election. What about inside of our own businesses? Do we have times where, nobody would know, but you would know? And in those moments, we do the right thing, we do the correct thing, we do the honest thing. That's the first building block for me. The next one is know-how. And this is what I would call the better weight of real estate. I think in our world right now, that know-how is lacking. And I think there's a reason for this. So I kind of had an epiphany. Here's the reason. So the big coaching voices in our industry, so think of all the coaches that we know of. The only thing they really can make loud is the sales process, because they don't know the rules and laws and ethics of the state of Utah. They don't know our forms. They don't know the details of the language that's in these documents. So they don't know the technical aspect of the business. And so what gets turned up really loud is the sales process, and what gets drowned out is how to be a really good practitioner and being good at what you do, right? And this is the know-how. This is the professionalism. So in my view, to be better, a better way of real estate and to be better as an agent is to double down on the know-how. So if I went forward in this, and if you had your books, I'm going to skip forward to, this is this concept that it's not the instrument, it's the player. So there's plenty of tools out there. That's not the thing. It's that who can play them. You see what I mean? That's where we need to emphasize. So it's not the tool, it's the craftsman. It's not the surgeon, or it's not the surgical instrument, but it is the surgeon. So I mean, if I put a grand piano out here in this room, how many of us could play it? So we're not short on the piano. We've got the piano. Okay, so that's a metaphor. So how many of us are really good at the instruments of our business and the tools of our business? Matter of fact, let's do this. Go to your chat right now and type in every tool you can think of that has to do with our business. Will you type that in? Anything, just don't overthink it. Any tool, hit me. What's a tool of our business? Okay, hey, Joe, you watching this? You got Moxie right off the bat. You got dot loop. You got Will as a tool. Good. You got forms book. Yeah. Contracts. The phone. Okay. MLS. Yeah. The MLS. Have we mastered that? Repsy. MLS. Laptop. Boost. Forms manual. Good. Car. You got a car as a tool. Yeah. Cell phone. Real Scout. Okay. It took a while to get to Real Scout, but we got it, Joe. So, okay. All right, these are tools, so we could be better at this. And there's a lot of things that are not on here. This business can get very, very complicated. I mean, just the fact, like take Brian's list here, this MLS, Forms, Moxie, Real Scott, Dot Lip. So Forms is huge. I mean, it's not just, we got contracts, and how many contracts do we have? We have supplementary clauses, we have notices, we have disclosures, we have closing documents. And every single one of them are really critical to our transactions, right? How many of you have noticed that most of the questions we get from buyers and sellers can be answered from a lot of our forms, right? So perhaps we could be a better pianist at these, and a better craftsman, and a better surgeon. And that is, I think, going to ultimately be our saving grace in our business, is if we double down on being better professionals, okay, because that's where the value is going to be delivered. Then our commission objections are minimized, and our commission is substantiated, right? And referrals happen. And to Brad's point, I'm just randomly looking at chat here. Brad put in relationships, and if we are good at delivering solutions to our clients' problems and delivering value as a high professional, guess what we get? Relationships. Yeah, we get relationships. And that's always the better payday in my book. Okay. So really good. And thank you for all your input there. Yeah, Elizabeth, even Zoom is a tool that we could use in our business. So very good. Very good. Okay. Thanks for that, guys. So let's go back here. We'll just turn the page back to where we were. What do you think about number 3? What if I had pure honesty and tons of know-how, but zero discipline? What? What would that be like? No good, huh? Okay, so this is what I have to say about that. Hey, I think that was Forrest Gump coming out in me. All right. All the knowledge in the world is useless unless it is applied. The discipline is the action, effort, energy, and the application of the know-how. Discipline is the sacrifice of things that are bad or good for the better or best. This is done by making room and time to apply the energies at task. Disciplined people keep promises they make. Discipline is not discipline if it happens once in a while. Discipline is ongoing and a consistent effort. How many of you struggle with being, say, consistent in prospecting and finding new business? Yeah. Yeah, let's, it's a hard thing to do because the lead generation process often gets pushed aside, and sometimes rightfully so, when the priority of the client's needs trump out the task for lead generation, right? So I understand that. So how can we become disciplined? So if I break out some of these points here, what do you think about this statement that says this is done by making room and time? Okay, so let's think about this. How many of you want to declutter something right now in the house? Is the house a little messy? Yeah? There's something you want to declutter? Yeah? Me. Okay, thanks, Mariah. So the first thing we do, if we were going to put something somewhere, the first thing we do is we get rid of something, don't we? And I guess what I'm trying to say here is that I think discipline can start with the jettison to allow space for something that we need to have discipline in. What if I wanted to clean something or put something somewhere, I'm going to clean it first, make room, and put something that's better in that space. Okay, so like when it comes to the house. If I'm going to get physically healthier, then I'm going to jettison time that was going to something else, and I'm going to put something else there. So when it comes to prospecting, shouldn't the first step to be jettisoning something out in the day that could be replaced by lead generation? Couldn't we do that? Looking at all your faces, you guys give me a reaction. What do you think? Caitlin, thank you. Okay. So this is a good first step, is to clean out space. You know, there's a physics fundamental that two objects cannot occupy the same space at the same time. All right, so you can't do two things at once. So the first step in being disciplined is to jettison space for a higher priority. How do you stay disciplined? So I've got Jill, using a word routine, building a routine. Thank you, Wendy, for agreeing. Tell me what you do, what tricks, what I don't know, models do you use to stay disciplined at something you know is going to be challenging, but you know that it's important. You want the outcome of the discipline, but you know that the discipline is going to be challenging. So what do you do to make sure that you're applying what you know and staying disciplined to important tasks, especially things like lead generation? How do you do that? Okay, let's go into the chat. Good. So I'll read them down here. I set goals. Okay. So Wendy, on that, to get a little more specific, I think what you've got to do is you have to say at this time of day, this is what I do during this time of day. And I'm going to talk more about this next Thursday when we talk about power hours. Okay. So Leslie, you said accountability. Who are you accountable to and for, and how does that work? I don't know, but sometimes we'll let ourselves down before we let someone else down. Have you ever noticed that? I'm looking at your faces on my other screen here. Julie, you're nodding your head. Have you noticed that? Anyone ever go to the gym with somebody or go running with somebody? Walking with someone? Yes? Yeah, thanks, Norm. Norm's got a great smile, doesn't he? Look at that smile. Norm's got a great smile. Kevin Larson. Kevin Larson's a very disciplined person. Have you ever done that, Kev? Have you ever buddied up with someone and said, "Hey, let's do this together"?
Yeah, I've had accountability partners in the past, just on staying on task on any project that we're working on. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It helps.
It does
help. You're going to have to call and account for your whatever you've done the last week, and that's coming. Your mind finds a way to get it done. Yeah,
and thanks, Kev. I see. We all should do what Kevin just said. Get an accountability buddy. I think it will help you. It can also make it a little more enjoyable. So let's go down the list. Thanks, Kev. We'll go down the list. Find friends for accountability. Good. Stacy, you were on it. Michael, be accountable to someone. You guys, yeah, there you go. Accountability partner. Okay, you had it right after we spoke about it. Yep. And there's the power hour, Sandy or Sally. We'll talk about that next week. I'll go into more detail with that.
Hey, Will.
Yeah.
I don't know whether anybody is bold enough to do this, but I actually had an agent years ago in a goal setting said, hey, make your goal public to people who will hold you accountable. He asked for a few minutes in one of our sales meetings, and he made a commitment to the entire office that he was going to hit his goal, or he would give us $1,000 for a party.
Oh.
And he handed over the $1,000 for me to hold until he met his goal, or he was to give it back, or we were to spend it. So that was a pretty bold move, but let's see if anybody's willing to go that far.
That's right. Do you guys remember last year, Joe? Do you remember this last year see, I got tricked into that, Kev.
Did you?
Yeah, I got tricked into that with this topic, and Joe and I think Ben Thorne kind of tricked me into this. Hey, make it $1,000 pledge. Okay, so from that, you know what I learned? If you guys, I'm going to stop sharing for just a second so you can get the impact of this. All right, if any of you guys need accountability partners and you want to send me $1,000, I'd be happy to oblige. I'll sacrifice for you. Okay. I'll put myself out there. So, oh man.
I take exception.
If you don't hit your goal, we'll donate it to our pack, right?
Yeah. Well, I take exception with the trickery. I mean, that was a public discussion, and you were like, I'm in, I'll do it. And you got them done, if I remember right.
I did get them done. I got them done in the day before the deadline. And you know what? I have to admit, if I didn't make that pledge, what they did is they caught me off guard. That's what I mean, Joe. You caught me off guard.
I'm not buying that either. We've been talking about that for probably a close to a calendar year. Off guard. Anyway, yeah, I think Kevin's point is legit, right? Putting skin in the game and making it public. There's something about that makes you get stuff done. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great way. Go grab an accountability partner for your prospecting or whatever task it is. Okay, let's do some cross training here. And first of all, tell me if you've read this book, and tell me what a leading measure is. How that would apply to this accountability issue. So if we've got an accountability partner to help us do a certain thing, then and we've got these goals. What's the difference in a leading measure and a lagging measure? Does anyone know? If you actually do know, you can unmute and verbalize it if you like. Okay, Kara's got it right. So a lagging measure is the result. The leading measure is the activity that gets you there. Very, very well said. Nice job, Kara. So the leading measures, let me go back to share screen. This is very important to understand. Leading measures are the things. So here we are in this discipline, okay? Let's see. Oh, shoot. That's not okay. Sorry, I'm messing up my video here. Edits. I can't find. Oh, here it is. Okay. Crossing over. I'm giving you guys a little bit of a tip for what's coming. Okay. When we're talking about our business planning, and remember this map. Sorry, guys. Don't get dizzy. Remember our planning map? Okay, let me get to it. Sorry, where is it? Okay, right here. And I know it's twisted a little, right? Purpose is at the top. Here are my strategies. Where do the leading measures appear? Where do leading measures appear on the planning map? Where would they be? Whoops, we get our flip book, it won't be as finicky here. Sorry about that. Where do leading measures appear on the planning map? Here's one little silo. Yes, Cindy, in the actions, and they're down, it's down below, it's right here. So the actual answer is the leading measures appear in the schedule. Okay, they appear right here. So, or say things like, I want to be healthier. That's the reason. For me, I remember in the health journey, the first thing I wanted to be able to accomplish, the milestone, was to run a 5K. That was my first thing, and this is like 12 years ago. And that was challenging at that time. It was really tough. At about a mile or mile and a half, I just didn't yet have, there's that word yet, I didn't yet have the cardio ability to just keep running for, say 25 straight minutes. And it was very challenging. So that was one of the mile markers, but the objective was to be healthy. The discipline was all the exercises that were going on in between. So when it comes to discipline, this is really key. And I think it's the place where we need the most help. I think I'll probably talk about the core 4 ties into this, but I'll do that later. Maybe I'll tackle that on Thursday or a different class altogether. But what I've discovered is there's a difference in knowing what to do and applying what you know. Okay. And sometimes we wait to have a conviction for something before we get into action. For example, if anyone on this call thinks open houses are a waste of time, I would challenge that and say your belief to do an open house is not required for you to do them. So do them anyway. You see what I mean? Because they're actually very, very good way of meeting people. It's actually one of the things that's transcended all the technologies and times. It still works after all these decades. Okay, let's do environment and maybe tracking and measuring really quickly, and then we're going to go over to the evaluation. I'd like everyone to have the evaluation completed before Thursday, ideally. And you'll have a head start with everybody when we do these little breakouts with Zoom. So it'd be really nice to have a lot of you already have that done, okay? So when it comes to environment, this is a big deal where we are. Sometimes we choose our environment, other times we don't. It plays a big part in our success. Frankly, I try to never forget that when we come together to work as a work family, it makes a big difference to be supportive of each other. I would like to offer another way to look at our environment. Our environment is also the playing field in which we play, we practice, and we try to improve, which means that there's many times that there's obstacles and resistance to our efforts. This can force us to think of new ways, which is a good thing, right? It's a good thing. And the harder we try, we keep trying, we try again, but we become something in this environment. And that's the purpose for the environment. So in my mind, again, I'm coming back to if you don't get the listing and you're down, your environment is challenging some of the ways you went about it, how you thought about it, how you presented, and some of the things that might need adjusting. And if it weren't for that, then perhaps we would never take the time to invest in ourselves to become better. Okay. The next one is tracking and measuring. And this one's really key also. I don't know how you could really say you've reached a mile marker unless you defined it in the first place. Okay, so last week I had a coaching session with someone and we were talking. I think their knee-jerk reaction was something like this. I would like to be, number one. I'm changing up a little bit here. It's some confidential issue, but same point. So it was, I want to be number one. And I said, well, what does that mean to you? Well, it means that I'd be the number one agent, and I'm messing this up a little bit intentionally. Let's just say in the office. Okay, you want to be the number one agent in the office. So are you competing against other agents in your office? And they said, well, I guess so. Okay. There's just a warning sign for me on this. I like comparison to learn from, like from our peers, to learn what they do and have them be teachers to us through their action. But to compare against them and I only win my objectives if I'm number one and over them, I think that's got flaws in it. So rather, I would have you track and measure your success against yourself. And I think that will win the day. Yes, it can be a thief of happiness, Mariah. Very, very good observation. So we got to be very, very careful. We have mentors all around us. So use them for that, but you're not competing against them in any sort of a way. You're competing against yourself. Even though if it was a direct listing appointment and your seller is looking at someone else, it's still you, guys. It's still you trying to be better at your craft, okay? So that's what I kind of look at the tracking and measuring, and we'll get more into that. But let me go back to, I'm going to show you guys something. So I've got a hexagon lesson that you'll see in the manual. And if we all had a manual, I'd turn you there. But I've got a saying that says, the Garmin never lies. The Garmin never lies. What if it were possible to place a watch like this on our wrists and it tracked, say, outgoing calls to past clients? What if it tracked that? Hours at open houses, follow-up, meaningful emails, text messages, social media prospecting? You know, what if it tracked that? What if at the end of the day, it would tell me how I am, how I'm doing? Would that be an eye-opener? So if we don't want to be on the roller coaster of real estate, which can happen when all we do is lead generate, then service clients, and then our production falls, then we have to be disciplined consistently over time. It's kind of like dieting. It's kind of like being healthy. You just can't do it one day or 3 days a week or even 3 weeks out of 1 month and then be done for the entire year, right? You've got to make it a lifestyle. One of my mentors said, Will, if you've already made the decision to change, why do you keep making it again? Wow. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe because my decision was really hard. You know, maybe it was harder than I thought. So I'm challenging myself. You know, what I really wanted was this. I wanted the outcome, but not the disciplines and the things in between. This will save you. Get an accountability partner, track it down to the leading measures, do the little things that matter every single day that lead you to what you want, and you'll get there. And we should just celebrate doing the tasks. I think that is where the gold medal should be put on our necks. They did the tasks, you know? And last year, so many of you did this, and you did it really, really well. And now we've got another year of an opportunity to do something with the money that you can make and the relationships that you make. And so it's worth it, isn't it? To get this right. And if you're struggling with production, you're looking around going, wow, everyone had their best year, but not me. The heart of the matter will be doing the little things every day and tracking that and being consistent over time. That will be the heart of the matter. A new agent came in, I don't know, about a month ago, and it doesn't even matter who it was because this has happened multiple times to me in my career. And they were nervous, they were anxious, they were uncomfortable, but they were going to join us anyway. You know, it was uncertainty abounded. But yet they were excited and they were nervous at the same time. And to put this person at ease, I said, it's only going to come down to one thing. Will you do the things that are necessary? Will you do them? You know, on the contrast, I remember having an agent up in, this agent left us, so I guess I can say, okay? The agent left us. They were in our Ogden office and they were talking about Joe Holden. And they says, I want to make what Joe Holden makes. And then quickly said, but I don't want to do what he does. So, and there you go. I mean, are we going to do the things that are required? Celebrate that. Celebrate the leading measure. Celebrate the schedule and the discipline of the daily tasks. You know, isn't it weird? Like, I mean, I get it. We talk about our numbers, right? And Kev, you're right there by me. So I'm kind of looking to you. You know, we talk about our numbers, you know, the closing leaders and all of those. But see, those are all lagging measures. You know, like they were the result of it. You know, the thing that should be really hung around someone's neck is something like, hey guys, you won't believe this, but last week, I'm just since Michael, you're next to me, I'll use Michael. You're up. Michael, guess what Michael did? Michael made more meaningful outbound phone calls than he ever has in his career. He had a personal best. He was number one. And like that's a game changer.
And if he keeps doing it, he'll stay number one.
That's right. He'll be yeah, like a domino falling, right? The task led to this, which led to this, which got us the result. So if we're not happy with production, let's go back to the daily tasks that matter and get serious about that. All right, let me I'm going to divide the group in genders, okay? Here we go. To the men on the call, if you're struggling, I'm challenging you to be competitive. I know you can be. This is the time you could turn up the testosterone. Like, get committed and do this and stop arguing with yourself on your daily tasks. Okay. For the women, do you realize the impact you can make with every relationship and the way you look at things matters? Sometimes, gals, I raised 4 daughters, so I think I can say some of this, right? I raised 4 daughters. You're the only solution for them because of your perspective. So with the men, I'm saying get competitive and get into the task. For the women, I'm saying think about the impact that you could make so that your sacrifice daily, you're changing, you're getting uncomfortable again, will matter in someone's life. It will matter to them. So it's worth it. So keep that in mind. Okay.
And Will, just real quick, those are not mutually exclusive either. I mean, right? I mean, your nature is dependent on your desire to have that lagging indicator. When I had my first kind of real job selling complex phone systems, the guy that hired me sat me down. He said, I'm giving you a territory that has been dead for almost a decade. He's like, we only have 2 or 3 resellers, and your job is to go recruit and train and develop more resellers of these phone systems. And so he sat me down. He said, if you make 50 calls every day, he goes, in less than a year, you'll have more business than you can handle. He said, and your biggest challenge won't be day 1 and it won't be day 10. Your biggest challenge will be the day when you actually have business that's more fun and will actually net you something in your pocket. And you will have to decide, am I still going to go down and make those 50 phone calls? And he was exactly right. It was right around month 7 that my calendar started to fill up with appointments that would actually put commission in my pocket. And sure enough, I got excited about doing that, and my total number of new phone calls started to tail off. And we had a good first year, and even well into the second year that happened. And then we were having these performance reviews. He sat me down, and the first question he asked was, how many phone calls are you making daily? How many new phone calls are you making every day? And I was like, geez, I'm so busy, I haven't had any time. And he goes, okay, you're about to see a big dip in your commission. And sure enough, over the next 2 months, my commission fell, right? And it was an amazing experience for me, and a lesson that I've learned and try to apply to every business or anything I've ever been involved in, is that there's a certain number of daily activities that will result in a nice, even rise in your income. And if you forget those daily activities because you're so busy, right, and excited doing the things that are more fun, you will see a corresponding drop in your income in the trailing months. It's almost mathematical how perfect that particular principle is, and it works across any business, across anything you ever do. And I think that's one of the things that you were just mentioning, how we are fighting with ourselves to say, I don't want to do that. It's not as fun as going out and doing the training. It's not as fun as a listing appointment. It's not as fun as these other pieces that are air quote business, right? I'm still doing things that are business related, but those particular things that drive things forward every day, it's one of those things that you argue with yourself every day, because we all have preferred parts of this business, right? We all like different parts, and so as humans, we tend to go drift towards the things that we like, and then say, well, I'm still working, right? This is important. I got to make this care package, this closing gift. I got to put it all together. I got to do that, right? but those things that we all know in the back of our minds that will drive forward that we just don't like to do, it's taking that daily vitamin and making it work.
Hey, Will, let me share
Yeah.
one other example with you.
Okay.
My
please.
mentor when I was first getting in the business was a guy by the name of Hal Erickson. A
Hmm.
lot of you may do not know Hal. Hal was the coach of Granite High School basketball team, and he is very, very structured, very, very disciplined, like a coach. And Hal got into the business after he retired from teaching and from coaching basketball, and approached real estate the same way he approached training for basketball or athletic. And Hal every morning for 1 hour would make outbound phone calls. And then he would go home and play with his grandkids, and he would actually make almost $400,000 a year. I made the mistake early on in my career, is I first went into management to try to knock on Hal's door to ask him a quick question. And he read me the riot act. This is my 1 hour of prospecting every morning. Don't you ever interrupt me.
Oh.
He then came and apologized and said, Kevin, this is the only business in the world where you can make 1 hour of outbound phone calls and make six figures. Don't you ever interrupt my prospecting time. And you can tell that to anybody else that's trying to figure out how to get into this business. We see new agents get in, get all excited. They spend 10, 12 hours a day making outbound phone calls. They burn out. The secret is 1 hour a day, being consistent, and anything you do consistent will bring success to you in real estate.
Nice. Thanks, Kev. Great wisdom, you guys. Great wisdom. There's no shortcuts here, and it should be very, very freeing. Your soul will feel freed once you plan these disciplines on a daily basis. It just feels good.
And remember, momentum is more important than perfection. Momentum is more important than perfection. That consistency that Kevin just, dropped on all of us, that momentum, that daily momentum is more important than the perfection that everyone seeks in those.
Nice. Very good. You know what? A lot of you do this already, a lot of you do it. So you're looking at your business going, which one needs, adjusting and needs some of these principles of consistency? Where do I need to pivot and emphasize? So very, very good, you guys. Thanks for that. Let's jump to the business eval, because I want to actually, will you tell on the chat, will you tell me if, I know we've got 75 on the call. Will you let me know if you already have it completed, the business evaluation? Say completed, yes or no, and I'll do a quick. When we record these, guys, Joe sends me the recorded chat so I can take inventory. Okay, not yet. Anyone have it done? No? Okay, let's jump to that then. Share screen. Okay, so if you print this out, you could, to get a jump start for next week. Sorry, let me turn to that page. Sorry, guys. Hang on a second. Oh, whoops. I've gone too far. Okay, wait. Here, just do it this way. Yeah, right here. Okay. So we've got the 10 sections, right? The idea is this is a summary, and you put 1 to 10 on each one of these. By the way, so Kevin Larson, Mike Fundario, any other managers on? I don't see other managers. I think this is a great way when you're coaching an agent. If we could all sing out of the same songbook, these are good categories to go over, and you guys can leverage your own experiences under each of these. So the first one is to get the history of results. So how did you do last year? Buyers, I want to know buyer sides, listing sides. I want to know your total volume, your units, and then how satisfied are you with those results? That paints a great picture. Then we've got this general overview of strengths and weaknesses. This is very akin to the SWOT analysis, right? Strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So this is a general overview. I really like this one. What are you hoping to get out of this evaluation? That's so general, but a lot of times agents will say, well, I'm just concerned about, and then whatever it is comes up. So I'm going to challenge you guys on the call right now for next week. If you have this already figured out, you're going to be a step ahead of everyone getting your business plan done. Okay. Joel, you with me? Okay, good. All right, Norm, you with me? Travis? Okay, good. All right, then this is the attitude area. You know, do you love what you do? Are you passionate about it? If we're a little low in this area, there's things we can do about that. I'm actually asking about gratitudes here. This is a good insight to how you are and how you're doing. The next one is this growth and training. So how do you spend time there? What do you need to learn? This is a great way to start thinking about your resolutions or skill sets you need and getting very specific. Okay, so you know, what do you want to learn this year? What do you want to better yourself in? Will it take all year to learn it, or can we learn it in 1 week or 1 month or 1 quarter? So, you know, there's different ways to look at that. Last night, actually, late last night, top agent, their team does well over 1 million GCI, called me, struggling with, as you can imagine, they're very busy. Okay. So the problem is, it's not the production, it's how to handle the production. So this is about leverage and time management. So I'm asking, well, what are your time drains? What's your weaknesses? What do you need to hire out? How well do you delegate tasks? So this is a very, you know, sometimes we think we really are inside that box thinking there's no help, and there's often help. Okay. So you guys, you could print that off, what I sent you, and you can go through each of these and answer these questions. And I think that would give you a really good insight to your business. How many of you already have a GCI goal or a unit number goal for 2021? How many already have that goal in your mind already? Okay, good. Yes. Okay, thanks, Joel. Okay, a lot of you do. Okay, fantastic. How many of you know why you want that production? Have you defined the reason that you want it? Okay, good. Then you'll be a step ahead. Remember, we need to know the why, or we won't have the emotional energy to do the daily leading measures and tasks consistently, right? Well, it'll be too hard. So we've got to know the why. Okay. When I'm still in this planning chapter here, how many of you have identified your strategies? So you've broken down kind of your, you know, how will you go about it? So you know, if you know your reason and you know what you want to accomplish to get that. So here's the business number that needs to happen, GCI, and then we have our if you know your strategies, again, you're going to be a step ahead. If you don't know what strategies are, they're in the book. We'll go over them. But the strategies are how you're going to win. And then we've got it down to your daily schedule. So how many of you have a daily schedule that is in line with your yearly goal? Could you tell me that? My daily schedule is in line with my yearly goal. Working on it? Okay. Not yet. Okay. This is a big deal to have that. Okay. Kim up in Logan, not yet, but working on it for sure. Good. This is going to be the lingo in which we need to rally around. Our purpose is the first. Our strategies are next. Our tactics support our strategies. And then our schedule is our daily disciplines. Okay. So that we need to make sure we have clear. Okay. Let me ask you another question. Let's see. Let's do a poll. We're almost out of time. We got 3 minutes. On a scale of 1 to 10, here, let me do this. Well, okay. We'll start with this one. On presentation and communication skills, how would you rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10? Put it in the chat. Is this an area for improvement for you? Could you present better? Think about all the tools we have, the resources, why we have them, presenting data better and understanding context over the content. Is this a place that we could do better? Okay, so that would be, and you know what? I'm gonna put that as presentation, so I remember. Okay, now let's do this one. How about, wait, let's go. I want to go back to prospecting. Yeah, right here. Okay, I'm gonna type in prospecting or finding lead generation, how you want to say it. Okay, there it is. Now rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 in prospecting so I can test a theory. 1 to 10. It's helpful if you do this because then I've got a better insight and feedback. So I do appreciate you helping with that. Okay. Okay. Thanks for being honest. All right. There's a lot of help there.
It's kind of like starting a diet and getting on the scale for real, right?
Yeah.
But if you don't know what your start point is, how do you know when you're making progress?
Yeah. Well said. I'm going to do another one. Personal growth. Let's do another one and poll me here. Okay. So after personal growth, how many of you feel like that you need to put more time to growth, training, the study of the business? How many feel like you need to improve a skill and you need more time there? Rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. So if you study often, you're a 10. If there's things you like to learn and you're currently learning them, I'd say that's a 10. If you're currently working on skills to improve, I'd say that's a 10. If your morning routine is in line with that, then that's a 10. And anything short of that would not be a 10, right? So, okay. All right, very good. I think that's enough of that for now. So let's put a bow on this. By next Thursday, if you have your reason, your tactics, your strategies and tactics in line, and you know what those are and your daily disciplines, you're going to be way ahead of everyone. And if you have your business evaluation completed and you know where you need to improve, then you're going to be better at your goal setting patterns, which we're going to do. Okay. And I'm going to start off I think Steve turns the mic over to me at like 9:40 in the morning. And I'm going to first start off with, I suggest you begin with the business evaluation. And that's going to be like pre-homework. And then we'll jump into planning our year. Okay. Okay. Has this been helpful? Was this a good hour of your day? Good. Well, I'm glad to hear that. It's all this is done with you in mind. I prayerfully consider what I think we all need to hear and what we need to do. You're a beautiful group of people. I love you all. I mean that sincerely. I know you know that. I want nothing but the best for you. And I do believe that if we apply these things, that this journey of success that we talked about can happen for you. And it can happen here. Our environment is excellent here. We have loving, supporting staff, ownership, managers, these guys, all of us, our heart is in it. And it's just a great place for people where I hope what we become is even better, a better beacon of where the highest level professionals want to practice. And that's the journey that I see us on. And come along for the ride. We're all going to be better for this, all of us. And I think that's kind of where happiness starts to happen and sun comes out. And regardless of outcomes, we become better people in the journey. So I wish you nothing but the best for today. Thank you for joining me. And I'll talk to you soon. Okay. Joe, you can stop the recording. I'll hang out for a while if you guys want to chat for a bit, but have a wonderful day.